Ryan here with Prudential Pest Solutions, and we are going to be treating and removing a bald-faced hornet's nest that it built on the window of a second story of a house here. And I'm going to show you the process on how we treat, remove, get it cleaned up, and get this thing out of here. So, you can't see in the video here, but obviously I have my bee suit on, my bee veil, I have my coveralls on, some gloves. This little tool that I'm sticking behind the electrical here, it's actually for beekeeping, honey beekeeping. It's used to separate the frames inside of the actual bee colony, but I like to use it because it's like a little rigid pry bar that has a really nice edge on it to scrape this hornet's nest and the pieces of it. So much like our other videos, I'm going to use PTPI, which is an aerosol insecticide, and I'm going to inject directly into the main opening, which we saw in the front there. Then I like to jab in at the side of it just to make sure we have complete coverage. What I like about PTPI is that it works very quickly, so it's a real quick knockdown. It doesn't have any residual at all, and it's super easy to apply. And that quick knockdown is very important when you're 2 stories up on a ladder and you're dealing with many large stinging insects like we have here with the hornet. So as we can see here at the nest, we don't see any hornets coming out of the nest because we've treated it and they're all dead in there. And I'll show you when we take it down, you'll see a bunch of dead ones in there. But we can also see that there's hornets kind of hovering around the front, but they're not going in. And we'll find this with yellow jackets as well when we treat those in structures, is that once we kill the nest off, they can detect that chemical. They know something's wrong. That's why they're not going directly into their nest. So they're kind of hovering around up there. And it's important when we're doing a treatment like this that, whoever's doing it needs to be comfortable around stinging insects because, again, we're 2 stories up on a ladder, and that is not the time to start freaking out and panicking and, potentially falling or getting stung. So I'm of the belief that if you're calm, they're calm. They're just wondering what's going on with their house. I'm just the one that's here killing them and all their friends and family. So as you can see, I take the paper off. And if we look in here, it's a little hard to see because of the shadow, but that whole inside of that paper nest is dead hornets. And we can see what's still attached to the window ledge there is the actual brood cells or the actual combs of the nest. And they're going to affix that, they're going to attach that very strongly to that window so that even if there's a strong wind, even if that paper outer layer of the nest gets damaged, their actual physical comb of their nest is not going anywhere. So the general process here is we're going to treat the nest, we're going to remove it. I'm going to take this down. And we can see that the hornets are not so much following me in the nest. I mean, we have one there, but they're going to where the nest used to be. And again, this is the same with yellow jackets as well. I can physically remove their nest, and they're not going to chase me all the way back to my truck. They're going to just kind of hang out where their nest used to be. So if we open this up here, you can see, just how quick that PTPI works. You can see that whole inside of that nest is just full of dead bald-faced hornets. And there's a ton of them in there. And we have the nest. So I'm going to bag all this up. And then a lot of folks comment on our videos of what equipment that I use. So this actually shows you a good close-up view. So there's PTPI, and what I'm attaching to it is called the System 2, or maybe even the System 3. And what it is it's a aerosol adapter that allows me to hook up this application rod directly to the aerosol can, and that does a couple things. Number one, it looks super professional and it's super easy to apply the product. And 2, we're not just, kind of spraying and praying. We're actually able to inject into the areas we want to. So I did modify mine. BASF, who makes the System 2 and also PTPI, knows that there's a leaking issue out of what they come with. So I actually got an air compressor gun and kind of modified mine a little bit. I like it, but it applies a little bit too much product, so we're still kind of tweaking that. We're just going to kill off some of these flyers here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this same scraper and I'm just going to try to clean this window up a little bit. Now, with bald-faced hornets, there's always a little bit of this paper residue that's going to be there. It's like impossible to get off. It's like this glue that they use to kind of hold the nest in place. So it's impossible to get every little nook and cranny, but we're going to make this look a little bit nicer for our clients here. And then when we're all done, we're going to bag up the nest, take it out of here, and then I'm going to take my backpack sprayer, and I'm actually going to spray up into the where the nest was. And this is just to kill off any of the stragglers that were already out of the nest. And this is why we can do this during the daytime, whereas most homeowners think you can only do this at night. So if you have a hornet issue, give Prudential Pest Solutions a call at 484-401-4361, and we'll get all those stinging insects off your property and get the home treated.